Welcome back to the Skellefteå Open, event number 5 on the Swedish Disc Golf Pro Tour 2023, as well as Euro Tour number 5. I'm Andrew Fish, joined here by Chandler Fry.
I want to go to Sweden someday. I want to play this course.
Well, yeah. After seeing such good golf over the previous 2.5 rounds, we've got 9 holes to go, and our young card of Europeans really lighten it up.
Yeah, kind of off to a rough start, but Miro really taking off right now. Pars, it may look kind of boring on that scorecard, but pars are good out here. He is leading the card.
Yeah, and the back nine tends to play significantly easier than the front, so a lot of good action still to come. You are watching the Gatekeeper Media Chase card. Let's get to the action with hole 10.
Hole 10, pretty straightforward, par 3, 135 meters. Just throw it up there, slightly downhill. Nope, slightly uphill, I apologize. On a mound. Not a lot to it.
Yeah, backhand with a little bit of rightward drift and then some finish is probably the optimal play. This one,
absolute just misrelease.
For Nestori Tuhkanen, fighting through some stuff, but yes, as you say, a misrelease. Miro Ryhanen.
Yeah, it isn't that distance where it's kind of tricky. It's kind of a faster fairway. You can probably throw a distance driver if you want, but you got to put some turn on it. Some players might even throw a mid-range. You never know.
Yeah, depending on the wind conditions.
Yeah, if you get a Drew Gibson out there, you might be throwing a buzz.
Well managed by Miro Ryhanen, getting himself an inside circle putt.
I heard chains. That go in?
I'm not sure. I think that was pretty right, Chandler. And Teemu Talikainen.
Yeah, kind of a rocky finish to the front nine.
Yeah, after an initial hot start, maybe trying to manage some nerves in this this big stage, but
putting himself in position there.
Yeah, gonna have a chance if he wants to take it on this mound.
That's a little standstill from Jesse there.
Yeah,
hopefully it stayed.
Kind of forced to bump out to the left side. Here is Teemu's look. And airballing high and left.
Yeah, I like to see the different forms. I like how he looks down until he's ready to see the basket. There we go. Nice and high, little elevator putt. That's a good comebacker.
Yeah, a little bit of a gut check there after being the previous player to putt and then faced with a pretty similar look.
Yeah. You got to walk all the way across the basket. Yeah, great putt from Teemu.
Yes, it's going to take another little second to collect his thoughts. Putting for par here.
Yeah, I'm glad they're getting some sun over there because Jesse is looking a little pale. Look at those legs. Sorry, Jesse, you look great.
Good conversion.
I'll be quiet about that.
We're a body and skin tone positive
absolutely
production here at Gatekeeper Media.
You look amazing, Jesse. All right, moving on. Miro. There we go.
Gonna keep it rolling with another birdie.
Yeah, getting a stroke on the card. Just marching forward. And Nestori with a tap in for the par.
I think we missed one of his shots somewhere in there. That's
did.
All right. Hole 11, 185 meters. Throwing from the open into a gap. Need to move the disc pretty far to the left to another specific landing zone as we turn severely to the right and then go uphill. This basket is perched at the very top of a spine. And thus far have been very challenging for players to stay close to the bucket.
Scary first shot, scary second shot. This looks decent. I think he might be a little pinched short, but just getting through that first gap is good enough at this point. You want to push it a little high so it travels a bit more left with something pretty overstable.
Yeah. That decently well done. However, he's just short of the corner. Yes, it's going to go to the backhand.
I like the height on this one. Yes.
Yes, sir.
I believe that's perfect. It could probably be slightly better, but I would take that 9 out of 10 times. A little lower, connects with the tree. He will be scrambling.
Yeah, nothing to do there but play position golf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you look to the in the direction of the basket from where Teemu was, it is just thick Swedish forest.
Yeah, nothing worth looking at.
Good pace on this one. Slides a little too far.
Yeah, look how soft that came in, and it still gets a reaction on the ground. Pretty severe Anheuser play for Nestori. And he's going to come up short. Will be putting up at the basket, but every putt is up at this basket.
Yeah, yes, they put himself in a position where he can just stand still forehand. His bread and butter.
Yeah, that's prime. Just to 4 meters. Should be able to mark that one down pretty routinely. Teemu's third. Haven't seen that many forehands out of him. And kind of nose up sky ball to the right side.
Yeah, it might just be one of those shots he's not super comfortable with yet, being so young.
And going to minimize the damage with a jump putt approach for a bogey.
Nestori quite short. No.
And disc does stay. Miro.
Ooh,
Barely left side.
that could have stuck. I'll call that a spit out. It was left side, but that definitely tried to stay in there. Dealing with a racetrack behind the basket. That was loud.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wonder where that came from.
Yes, unaffected by it, though. Going to tap in his birdie. Couple of pars, and then Teemu with the 5.
Yeah. Solid par for Miro, though. Unfortunate. Hole 12, par 3, 108 meters. You got to choose left side or right side. The basket is in a scary position located just past this little kidney bean-shaped pond. We're going to see some left-hand gliding shots that kind of push past the basket and give yourself a death putt. Some ace runs. Yesay's been going with this shot the past 3 days. Didn't work today.
No, sure didn't. So he will be putting from the short side of the pond. Miro, hyzer release, but not flipping up nearly enough. That's going to carry past and left. Reasonably safe angle if he'd like to attack that from circle 2.
Which you don't.
He might.
I doubt it. Nestori with a slightly better angle, still nice and high, definitely flying over the water. Give himself a scary but makeable putt.
And Teemu, this is hung out wide right. Does it have the stability to fight back? Oh, wow. It's got the claws to grab at least.
Now, I love that. He's in a safe putting position.
And Chandler told us Miro wasn't running that. He certainly was. Otherwise, it was the worst layup of all time.
He was slightly closer than I imagined.
Nestori,
Yeah.
buckets from circle's edge.
Trying to right that ship. There
And
we go.
Yes, they set up very quickly.
He seems to be a pretty fast player until he's putting.
Perhaps a little bit frustrated with the OB stroke. You just got to take that breath, get yourself right.
And do that.
And well done. Take the long walk around the pond to collect your par putt.
Yeah, solid par save from Yesay there.
And a little help from Miro as Teemu's going to set up his putt.
I was hoping to see one of those skip shots that we've already seen a couple times on this hole.
I don't know that you planned for it. That's a pretty good cinder block lip. Another little uphill tester for Teemu. And dead center.
Good bounce
Nicely
back.
done.
Great bounce back from the young European star.
This
is
the new
up to ice orbit. Look
at this
very nice thing.
tingling.
Hole 13, 104 meters. The second easiest hole on the day. A lot of open space out to this right side. And then the basket relatively flat. There is out of bounds down the left side, but this should be a fairly routine mid-range. About like that. A little bit long for Nestori.
Yeah, out of most of the par threes out here, I'd say this is the most like you need to get it. It's right there for the taking. Also, if we did our commentary in auto-tune, would you enjoy it more or less? Comment below. I'm totally down for it. Here's Yese with his sidearm once again. Looks a little high. That needs to dig.
And pretty similar to result to what he had in round 2. Kind of bogged up by the Dr. Seuss trees short and left.
Yep. Low ceiling. Tough putt.
Miro.
I'm liking the flight of this one.
Yeah, flat for a long time as he ace runs.
Beautiful shot. Wow.
And so well controlled with the speed and angle to come in and just kind of settle at the back of the bullseye. Yese.
Let's go.
Buckets and a fist pump. That's
Yes.
That's huge for his round. After the par save on the previous hole, now covering his driving mistake.
Yep. And he is now under par for the round, which also feels great. Oh, man. And the story, still some putting woes. Definitely frustrated. A lot of golf left, though.
Yeah, got to keep your head in the game. Miro with the birdie. And Teemu also going to do that.
Hole 14, par 4, 187 feet. Navigate this initial gap, 187 meters, I apologize. Navigate this gap, finish right, and you want to get out of this open area, and you are facing the green, which once again is located right by a small pond. You want to fly that pond or land right before it to give yourself a chance at that birdie.
Priority number 1 is make the gap and then try to move to the right. That didn't get full flight, but should set up a backhand hyzer into the green if being aggressive. Yese going to try to test this back wall with a forehand and then swing in front of it. Likely blind to the green, but a credible shot.
Yeah, definitely not a green you want to not be able to see. Whenever there's water involved, I like to have full vision of what I'm throwing at. This looks fantastic from Miro, flying the corner, finishing slightly left. He should be able to see the basket.
Yeah, nicely done. Nestori.
Perhaps trying to bite off a bit more than he could chew on that shot. I don't think that width is necessary. It might have been somewhat of a misrelease. But he's tilted, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. From there, I think critical to ensure that he gets his par. Like, don't let this stack up on you and take a double or worse. But he's looking up. This could be an aggressive play, Chandler.
I don't mind it. Final round. He's got to get something going.
And that is throwing over out of bounds for quite a ways.
Yeah. Sketchy. Hopefully it worked out.
Yese with the big hyzer.
Talk about sketchy. Definitely flies it long. I believe that's still safe, though.
That's the safe side to miss the green.
Yeah.
At least. And from a very short position, trying to play to the backside.
Just gave himself the scariest putt possible, and this is where the story landed. So props to him for... Oh, do not. Okay. Props to him for giving himself an opportunity for a birdie and also running it like he did. That could have turned out really bad, though.
Yeah. Wild set there.
Great run. Wow.
And from a relatively similar position was Teemu Talikainen.
Good call, just laying up. Still a terrifying layup, honestly, from that position. It could roll, could skip, could bounce.
And heat check for Miro Ryhanen.
Oh, yeah.
Centered. Gets him to 5 under, 11 overall.
I don't know if you know Evan Scott too well, but he's giving me some strong Evan Scott vibes.
Yeah, I think the similar putting action, very
Yeah.
wrist-oriented, straight on with the basket.
And similar body language, and Evan Scott having just won the Blue Mountain Championship, feeling good, fantastic elite player. Maybe he's Miro's counterpart.
Everyone needs a Wario. Teemu in for his par.
Who's the Wario, though? Sorry, all right. It's Evan.
Nestori and Jesse both going to card their pars. Hole 15, 150 meters. Again, a lot of open space. This fairway bounded by out of bounds on the left, right, and long. That left is the most intrusive because this pretty much requires a distance driver. And that is naturally going to fade out more to the left.
Yeah, this hole's all about distance control. Pick something fast, pick something stable, put it out there.
Pretty controlled shot by Miro. He might be willing to take the par, but definitely not the bogey. Teemu likely in a position where he wants to be more aggressive. And gets the right drift that you want, Chandler. Now starting to drift back.
Skip.
Very nice shot.
Yeah.
Edge of circle, 9 meters maybe.
Can't ask for much more than that. Maybe 30 feet closer. And Jesse showing off his arm on this shot. That needs to finish left. Never saw it come back.
No, we'll go find that a ways down the fairway. Nestori with the hyzer release pops it up to flat. This is also flying very well.
He's got some power.
Yeah,
That was a pretty
absolutely.
shot.
Like, those aren't big distance lines that are released on heavy and hyzer and then flexing back. No, these are like controlled golf shots.
Yeah, controlled power hyzer flips. Almost dunks it there. Beautiful shot. This would be a real heat check if he makes this one. Ooh.
And decent bid, but not willing to go much beyond the bullseye. Teemu looking a little bit fidgety here, Chandler.
Yeah, taking a bit more time than we've seen previously this round. Yeah, he knows the round's closing out. He knows his opportunities are closing out. And he knows that every birdie that comes from here on out, I just said out a lot right there, but every birdie that comes from here until the end of the round is so important to get.
Nestori going to get one of those critical birdies, back to even on the round. It was a long fight back for Nestori.
Yeah, good battle. I do like, even on these shorter putts, how Jesse goes through his entire routine. I definitely have. I've been guilty of just walking up and putting, when really we should all be doing that, taking our bag off, going through our routine, and getting those putts in the basket. Hole 16, 337 meters, par 5. Absolutely huge hole. Stay in that fairway, move slightly to the right. You want to have something that goes out and finishes heavy left. But once again, these gaps are tight, so if you hit anything on the right or left, you are flying into the OB, which is pretty much everywhere. We're going to see a lot of the shots like this. He wants that to be a little higher. Something that starts out left, pans out right.
Yeah, that tests the back wall too much, too straight.
This is more of the shot you want to see, something that travels right the entire time. A little bit too much turn though.
Yeah, will set himself up for another fairway shot, and this the third most challenging on the day. At some point, you might have to decide, is a par good enough? And the answer is usually, yeah, absolutely.
100% yes. Definitely one of the harder holes in the course, I believe.
Yesse with the forehand, and he doesn't like it. I don't know why. It's in a decent spot, perhaps a touch short. Nestori to the forehand.
Oh, big
forehand
angle.
roller.
He's still watching it. Oh,
Yeah, interesting and creative choice. Miro
I like it.
being a little bit more right and centered in the fairway, able to throw the backhand. I imagine a touch of understability here to let it flip up and try to grab some extra distance as you push into the second half of the hole.
Oh, wow. I think he just went through those two trees right there.
Yeah, plenty of fairway. And Yesse tries to narrow it down a touch.
Yeah, Teemu looks like he's in the perfect position for the second shot. Something nice and high, finishing left.
Yeah, uses all of the ceiling there. Perhaps a little bit speculative and wondering what you're going to get.
Sometimes you just got to test it, you know? Take those risks. Sometimes they work out. Good looking
And-
shot there.
Yeah, spectacular gap hit. Still probably 80 or more meters out is Nestori for his fourth shot. Miro's third, playing the turnover backhand. And good forward progress, at least.
Just like how defined these fairways are. They're so beautiful.
Yeah, fairways are definitely fair. Excellent shot to the edge of circle one for for Nestori. And this is, I'm surprised because this is just Teemu's third.
It's an opportunity.
Yeah, into circle two. We talked about that in the front nine, that just give yourself some chances, especially on these hard holes.
Yep. Miro looking for a throw in.
He's trying. Good speed control once again. Sets himself up for the 5.
A little bit of an unhinged putt there.
Yeah, Nestori from extra bonus range, and Teemu for the rare birdie.
Yeah, his putt and stroke has lost him a little bit on the back nine. Maybe some nerves. But we've seen previously from him this year, he has the skills to battle with the best. And still being so young.
And the low jumper for Yesse. And from where Nestori started and where his second shot was, that is a miraculous scramble to get the par.
Scramble games gotta be on point out here, that's for sure. Yeah, Miro. That was a par. Still putting up a pretty good round. Not testing the lead card, but still making a move on the chase.
Absolutely. Hole 17, 69 meters, square green, a little bit elevated. Must land on it, otherwise you proceed to a drop zone. Almost too short. Kind of difficult to have this speed control in a relatively narrow alley.
It definitely makes you think.
The baby flex forehand out of Nestori.
He didn't
And-
think at all. He just executed.
Yeah, that should be your whole flyover. That's how you do it.
I like this approach, the standstill backhand with the putter. Just going to glide it in there. Something
And that's 2 left, isn't it?
slightly understable. Oh, yeah, never made it. He'll go to the drop zone about 60 feet away.
Yeah, pretty tough result there for Miro as well as his round was going. Look how overstable this shot is.
Yeah,
Is
kind of
it-
overcorrect. Oh, got super lucky on the back there. But maybe overcorrecting a little bit after seeing Miro's shot go left.
And Yesse almost always with that forehand approach. Good width out to the
Gotta
left.
sit.
And has the speed control also. Bullseye.
This kid.
Wow, that's huge. Only one of 6% pars on the day is Miro
6%
Ryhanen.
pars. This kid's amazing. This is so fun to watch. Just makes me so happy seeing
Yeah, and at this point with one
these
hole to
young
go,
superstars. Yeah,
moving himself, or he's up into 4th place.
there we go. And already in the clubhouse, James Proctor going crazy, shooting that course record 11 down.
Yeah.
Whew. And he's bumped himself up into 3rd. Wild stuff. Hole 18, fantastic finishing hole. You have multiple choices off the tee pad, left, middle, right. All you have to navigate through a bunch of trees on every one of those choices. Pushed you through down the middle and give yourself hopefully an easy look at birdie, but likely just a long 60-foot look is what we've been seeing on this hole. A few players have gotten into the circle 1 area, but it is hard to get to for that birdie.
Absolutely. And
That was perfect.
Jesse and Nestori, something to watch here. Both need to par if they want to go to a playoff for the final USDGC spot. One player already in the clubhouse at 7 down. If either of them can get to 8 down overall, they would secure their trip to Winthrop. Jesse with a good forehand gap shot. This is kind of bailing out to the right.
It's a tough position to be in, but we've seen from the previous rounds that they can manufacture stuff from over there. Miro going with that committed right hyzer. If that gets through and skips to the middle,
He's a little bit snookered up on a tree.
you can see how tight that gap is that Teemu was trying to hit. And he nails it.
Wow. Big time shot to close out his round.
Not his best round, but finishing on a note like that feels a lot better than anything else.
Yeah, good. Couple birdies to open, couple birdies to close. Plenty to learn from. Like that's a lot about what disc golf is. You don't have to pop off at every tournament, but he's going to have the opportunity to grow and learn from this.
Yeah.
Decent shot from Jesse. Nestori to the forehand.
Oh, man, his troubles continue all the way to the green of the 18th.
So another jump putt approach. High and a little bit left and short. 6 or 7 meters to potentially card his par. No funny business out of Miro. Little bullseye drop in. And with that, he's going to finish in 4th place overall in this tournament.
Oof. Barely hanging on there. Getting the par, shooting a 1 down on the round.
Yeah, really liked seeing the last 2 rounds of Nestori's tournament. Excited to see more from him. Miro, the pretty clean sheet after that hole 1 bogey.
Oh, yeah.
Jesse, 2 rounds for him as well. And Teemu going to close out with the birdie.
Moving into that tie at 7 down.
Yeah. Unfortunately, none of them were able to make it to USDGC as Pekka Hevonen completed that tiebreaker. But really excited to see these 4 young Finns play. Plenty more out of them to come. And we certainly hope that you'll join Gatekeeper Media as we continue to follow the Swedish Disc Golf Pro Tour. For Chandler Fry, I'm Andrew Fish. And please like, share, subscribe, and come back and see us in Sweden.